Welcome to the WriterDojo with your host, Steve Diamond.
I award you no points.
And Larry Correa.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Today's episode, Supporter Spectacular XIII.
Welcome back, everybody, to the WriterDojo. You know what, Larry? It's been, we had our hiatus as I was busy being flogged to death.
Yeah. Poor Steve.
Poor me. I didn't even have good brisket during that time. It was hellacious. But it occurred to me today as we were kind of thinking what topics we wanted to talk about. Dude, we haven't done a Q&A in ages.
No, we have when we looked, we have a lot.
we have some questions, and we have some good ones. And I wanted to take the opportunity to do some questions that were asked to us or asked of us, whatever. Writing, it's important or something. In our Patreon group, there's a chat feature within the Patreon group where you can have like discussions and stuff. And one of the ones we have is where we just say, hey, for all of our supporters, if you have questions, just throw them in this chat.
What a smooth way to bring up the fact that the WriterDojo has a Patreon.
It's almost like it was natural. Organic even, Larry. We do have a Patreon now because it's easier that way.
Yeah. Well, and our old thing that people could donate money to went away during the hiatus.
Well, yeah, and because it was through Spotify and Anchor, Anchor, and then Spotify bought them, and they made it impossible, and they wouldn't give us the contact info of anyone who did anything.
So crap.
So we couldn't get you guys any, it was impossible to get you guys perks. Like I had two things we were going to send out to our supporters. One being that novella.
Yep.
That's the flip side of Into the Storm.
Yep.
I was going to send that out to all of our supporters. And another one was a short story, a superhero short story. And it was impossible. We couldn't freaking do it. With Patreon, this is going to be much, much easier, guys.
So we are rebuilding.
Hint of one of the perks that's coming. Hint.
Yeah, so if you guys would like to sign up with the Patreon, we appreciate the support, and we'll also get to your questions.
There we go. So today, we're going to answer a couple questions that came from our Patreon group, and then a couple others that came before we got our Patreon live that just was in our Facebook group. So, Q&A number 1. We'll start with just a fun, personal one, Larry. Okay. It was directed specifically to you, but we're going to pretend that it was directed to me also. Because
Okay.
I'm selfish. Says, I know I'm not supposed to tag Larry Correa on posts. You're a smart man.
Yeah, please don't.
Actually, this was in the MHI group, actually.
Oh, it's from the MHI group?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
But whatever. We take ownership of that, too.
Yeah.
But I wonder what novels, horror, science fiction, fantasy, and contemporary, influenced him growing up. If he has discussed this anywhere else, I'd appreciate the link, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're going to say, the question is going to be, what novels, horror, science fiction, fantasy, contemporary, influenced us growing up and why?
Oh, man. Okay, so I read a lot when I was young. I was a voracious reader, and I was a multi-genre reader.
And we've talked about that a lot, like our school libraries and our local libraries were our friends, man.
Yeah, because I had a tiny little library. I lived out in the middle of nowhere, but they had interlibrary loan, and so I could put in requests, and they would send stuff. It was pretty rad. And so I cleaned that place out and then read everything else. So actually, the author I read the most growing up was Louis L'Amour.
Exactly the same for me.
Yeah, I read so many Louis L'Amour books.
Yeah, my late grandpa, that was the one that he, that was like the thing. He's like, oh, hey, Steve, I went to the bookstore and I got another Louis L'Amour here.
Yeah.
He's like, I just finished it. It's your turn.
Well, because, they had the little white paperbacks at the grocery stores. Mm-hmm. Yep, I used to buy those all the time with my own money. $4.95. It was awesome.
They were $4.95.
I read a lot. Okay, so as far as... So I read the first sci-fi novel I ever read. Well, actually, there's like a little was actually Fangolith by John Dalmas, 1985, and I also read Hammer Slammers by David Drake, and also 1985. So I was 10 years old, and those and they're both Baen books, which is funny because I then went to spend most of my career with Baen. Mm-hmm. And those were my first sci-fi novels that I read that really struck with me. And then I read, actually no, before that I was 8. I was 8 years old when I got a copy of Dune from the library. Mm-hmm. most of it was over my head. However, my mom didn't believe me that I had read it because remember, I was 8 years old and that's a fat book.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I still actually have it.
Do you have the original copy that you
And I
read?
think I was 8 when yeah. And so I'd have to check the date of publication in it. 'Cause I got it new. 'Cause it wasn't a library book. We actually bought this.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it, and my mom didn't believe me, so then my mom read it and then quizzed me on it. And of course, 8 years old, I didn't get a lot of it. I didn't understand
You're like, Mom, I don't understand what space drugs are.
Benny Jesuits and space drugs. Okay, so I wouldn't say that was a super pivotal book, but that was actually one of the first things I read that wasn't like a Louis L'Amour novel.
Sure.
Let's see, I read a ton of Dean Koontz actually.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Because they were everywhere at the time.
Yeah,
I read a lot.
Huge.
Yeah, there was a bunch of Stephen King novels. I read all the main Stephen King novels. And
but Dean Koontz kind of trended. He was like horror, but a lot of thriller.
I
in
like
it.
Koontz way better.
Yeah.
And I'm already on record. I mean, you guys know my opinion on Stephen King, but like he was a cultural thing. So we all read Stephen King novels.
Yeah.
They were everywhere, foisted on us at that age. So I read a bunch of those. I read. Let's see, in fantasy, my gateway drug in fantasy was Terry Brooks.
Yep, same as me.
I actually read Elfstone's The Shannara first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I read Elfstone's before I read Sword.
Yeah.
And actually liked Elfstone's better.
It's better.
Yeah, and I read Sword later, but I liked Elfstone's better. But I read a lot of Terry Brooks. From Terry Brooks, I then went to Raymond Feist.
Sure.
The Rift War saga.
Yep, Magician.
David Eddings, Belgariad.
Yep.
Which, man, I'm learning about that guy.
Man,
dude.
Isn't that a bummer?
Okay, so those of you guys who don't know, we're not going to go into it too much. But like, if you're a David Eddings fan, don't look up what his personal life was like. Please don't, because it will ruin it for you forever.
Of course, now we just did the like, dude, you've got to try this thing. It's so terrible.
Yeah. So if you're a David Eddings fan,
please don't ever look at this.
Just walk away. When I was a little bit older, I discovered H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Which was a huge influence on me. Anybody who's read my books know that. And when I started reading Lovecraft, I also started reading Robert E. Howard. Which was the other giant influence on my writing.
Yeah.
So, geez, yeah, that was my... when I was a little older, Tom Clancy was the big, huge...
The military techno-thriller.
In fact, and then there was like the very first book I tried to write was a thriller, specifically because of that.
Minute of Angle.
Which all the good parts wound up in Dead Six.
Yeah.
So it wasn't wasted, but you guys will never see it. Let's see. Geez, that's I read a lot, guys. I read hundreds and hundreds of books. Oh, I read all the Dragonlance novels, all the Forgotten Realms novels,
all the Drizzt novels,
all the Drizzt novels. I have those still.
Yeah,
I have bookshelves of all these still to this day. I mean, I don't throw books away.
Yeah. For me, a lot of these are the same, which probably explains why we think a lot of the same.
A lot of the same way on a lot of these topics.
It was Louis L'Amour.
Yep.
Right. For me, it was also Agatha Christie.
See, I didn't do Agatha Christie.
Yeah, and then from there, it was Terry Brooks because they're on my bookshelf. Right next to Tolkien.
Yeah, love Terry.
Right? Tolkien, Terry, and
I read Terry before I read Tolkien.
I read Tolkien before Terry.
Yeah.
And also C.S. Lewis was in there.
Yep.
And then Lloyd Alexander.
Oh yeah, the Cauldron.
The Prydian Chronicles. Black Cauldron was book 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Black Cauldron. Yep.
Book 3, Black Cauldron, et cetera, et cetera. Like, so, in fact, I did a book report, and I still remember, I did a book report in second grade off Trend Wanderer. So, like, I think that's like book 4 or 5 or something like that in the series. It's the one with the cat on the cover. The giant cat.
I don't even remember.
Anyway, art guy, I remember covers. So those were like, that was the stuff I read in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then I was reading like all the Oz books, because there was way more than just the Wizard of Oz. There's all sorts of them.
There's a whole big series.
I read those. And then from there, that was when I started, after I'd really kind of found my love of fantasy through Terry. That was when I found Robert Jordan.
Yep.
And I started reading, I read those, and regardless of what you think of his overall series or what you read now, like at the time when I was, 12, 13 years old, reading those first 3 books was
a big deal.
It was a big deal. They were doorstops.
I only read the first one when I was young.
Yeah. Well, to me, to me, what the one that stuck with me was book 2, which is The Great Hunt, which half of that novel is a horror novel.
Yeah.
Which, looking back on my life, you know, like in a flashback, I'm like, oh, of course, no wonder I liked
So that's
it.
where it comes from.
And then after that, you know, I actually didn't read as much fantasy for a while, and I read all thrillers and detective novels.
Yeah.
Michael Connelly, Harlan Coben, you know, all those guys,
you're
right?
really well read on detective novels.
I read a lot of those.
Joseph Wambaugh?
A little bit.
I liked Wambaugh.
A little bit. Read some of the weirder stuff too. Carl Hyacin and, you know, John Sanford and...
John Sanford, yep. I read
Yeah.
some John Sanford.
And then, of course, you know, and then I read Lee Child and Vince Flynn and a lot of those guys.
I
Right?
didn't read those until like college.
Yeah.
I was I was older. when
Yeah,
I read
I
those.
was older at this point.
Yeah.
But then, you know, that great and glorious day came when a guy when I was working at a bookstore, so this would have been 2005-ish, a guy at a bookstore was like, he told me he would not read another one of my recommendations, would not buy another one of my recommendations, because I was just making tons of money off this dude, unless I read one of his recommendations.
Was this McCammon?
No, it was Lumley.
Oh, Lumley. Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
he brought me over Necroscope.
So for those of you guys who don't know, Steve loves Necroscope.
Dude, it's a great novel.
Yeah.
It by today's standards, I don't know if it would be published today, the way it's written. But man, such a pivotal book for me. I mean, if you've read Residue,
Yeah.
I mean, straight up in the sequel Parasite, it's straight up Necroscope in places.
Yeah.
Massive influence on me. And then after that, it was, you know, a lot of horror guys, you know, it was Matheson, McCammon, Lansdale. And
I didn't find Lansdale till later.
yeah, his was pretty late for me as well.
Man, he's so good though.
And that's the thing. I mean, so many of these have been such
My wife
good-
introduced me to Dan Simmons.
Oh,
I wasn't
really?
married. I was married. Oh, we were dating. And she asked me if I had read Hyperion, and I had not.
See, and that's funny. Your introduction to him was Hyperion.
Yeah.
Mine was Carrying Comfort.
Oh, yeah. So you came in the horror side.
I came in the horror side.
I came in the sci-fi side.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, rest that guy's soul.
Geez, that's funny because we probably touched on maybe 10% of the stuff we read.
Oh, I read my so you gotta
I read
understand,
so much as
my
a kid.
my grandpa was like a book pimp.
Yeah.
And so he was just always giving me stuff. He loved Servants because of the World War I analogous stuff that we put in there. He freaking loved it.
Okay, that's cool as hell that you get to show your grandpa this.
Oh, he was
See,
so thrilled by
My
it.
dad was illiterate.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize that. I grew up. My dad didn't read. Like he didn't read. He read it maybe a fourth grade level. My mom read, and I read so much just because there was nothing else to do. I lived in
it's
the
true.
sticks, man.
I mean,
We were so poor, but the library was there.
yeah, I and also what you guys need to also realize is that neither Larry nor I grew up with means.
Yeah, no. Well, your dad was a cop.
My dad was a small town cop for a long time.
Yeah, so you're not exactly rolling in the money there.
Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. So, we're going to hit on a Patreon question
Excellent.
from none other than our boy Rick,
Our boy Rick,
who we just saw at Writer's Cantina.
and who recently released a novel.
Yeah. He kind of did the serialized collection of shorts into a novel thing.
Yeah.
For his space western stuff.
Yep.
Cold Ostergaard.
Yep. Colt Ostergaard. And I have a copy and I haven't read it yet. And I told Rick I need to read it.
Yeah, same here. Same
Yeah.
here. I'm looking forward to reading it. It's way thicker than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, my boy Rick, you're
Rick-
putting words on paper, buddy.
Rick ain't messing around.
Good job,
man.
dude.
Rick's in it to win it.
Okay. In a short story, how do you address the blank mannequin issue of self-description for a POV character in the opening scene without slowing down the action? And then, We're about to be boarded by pirates. Let me check my makeup and hair in the mirror somewhere. Right? So he refers to the cliche of looking at the character looking at themselves in the mirror.
That's a really good question because, the cliche thing is like where you have the character will stop and like look at their reflection and describe themselves for the audience. Okay, so honestly, in short stories, I don't.
I don't either.
Very rarely do. Even in novels, I actually have pretty minimal description of the main characters. You'll notice because it kind of fills in as you go.
If it's a multiple POV third person novel,
you can have them see
much
each other.
easier.
Yeah,
that's really easy, right? Because it's like you're getting impressions as they're seeing the other characters. That's easy,
totally easy,
super easy. I never do it all at once though in one paragraph.
No.
I'll do like, I'll describe, it's like when you see a person for the first time.
You'll notice
something. Sometimes it's their eyes or their hair.
It's glasses guy or bald guy or tall guy or short guy, fat guy.
In fact, when we're describing general mooks that we're going to kill within an action sequence, a lot of times we just say, I took out nose first.
Yeah.
And then I took out bald dude.
I started doing that really around the Hard Magic era.
Yeah.
Because it worked really well because I was just given Jake Sullivan's just giving nicknames to people.
Yep. But even guys like Glenn Cook and Steve Erickson do that a lot. Like they do the nickname fantasy because it becomes very easy shorthand.
Yeah. Mustache, red, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do too much description at once because then it turns into noise.
It just bogs down.
And I never want to do more than one character at a time.
Oh,
I try not to describe if you have
it's not the beginning of the role playing game where you're describing your character to the other characters.
So if you have the character meets three people and you just this guy was this is this next paragraph this guy was this and this. That's really hard, and the reader doesn't keep that straight. And then what happens is the name and the features don't correspond in their head.
Yep. And so in those situations, what I try to do is I'll have an appearance thing on one. If I have to describe multiple characters, an appearance thing on one, a quirk of a character with two, and then if the guy happens to be fiddling with a knife, I'll talk about that in three. So they're kind of different types of traits.
You're not hitting the same. Not the first one's a blonde, second one's a brunette, third one's a redhead.
Yeah, we're not.
Well, there are stories like that.
Very, very,
very different kind of story.
Very different kind of story.
That's harem lit.
Yes.
But so if I'm doing a short story from the point of view character describing themselves, I usually don't bother in a short story, or I will have somebody else mention something. Like if I'm trying to establish it is only what's pertinent. Hey, big guy. If I need to establish he's a big guy, hey, big guy, come here.
So I was one of the books I was reading in prep for small edits and a special edition was Monster Hunter Vendetta, right? And I got to the gnome scene. Okay.
Oh yeah.
and one of the things they say is, "Oh, he's a biggin."
Yeah.
Because
he's tall.
Yeah. They're everything that they describe about him is about his size. It's how big he is.
Because they're gnomes.
Yeah. And then anytime he says anything about them, it's about their size. And he as soon as he says it, he goes, "Ooh, I shouldn't have said that."
Yeah.
Because they take it so personal.
They take it so personal.
Right? But it's one thing.
Yep.
Right? They're not sitting there going, "Well, Owen Pitt, you're super tall and you have this kind of hair and you're wearing this kind of shirt and da 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 da." Heck, in the second Monster Hunter Files story that I wrote for you, Fideli is in a prison cell across from Gutierrez, and I don't need to describe Gutierrez at all. So I say,
he's just competent.
I describe the shirt he's wearing. It's a ripped up band shirt.
Yeah.
And then Fideli says he thinks internally, he's like, it's probably a rock band, but it's hard to care too much about music these days when you were friends with, and he mentions some 1800s composer.
Yep.
Like Wagner.
Yeah.
He's like, it's hard to care too much about modern rock when you were buddies with Wagner.
Yeah.
A small description that gives character to both characters.
There's a million little tricks like that
that
you can do. You're not really limited. I've described like some physicality just by like someone trying to like try on clothes that don't fit, and then they can say how big they are or how small they are.
Yeah, like Frank's trying to get into a Honda Civic.
Yeah, Frank's trying to get in a Honda Civic.
Wherever did you
he's
get that
huge.
idea from?
As a man who tried to get into Steve's Honda Civic, and it was actually hilarious because I had to turn sideways to slide and put both legs and then slide out like a limbo to get out of Steve's Honda Civic. Not made for the big person. There's a bunch of tricks like that.
Yeah, but look, if it's a short story, unless their appearance is critical
Yeah.
to the story, it doesn't matter.
I've actually done police type descriptions because they're calling in something about a particular character.
Oh, sure, yeah, that's a good
saying?
way to do it. If you're doing a cop thing, I could
Yeah,
say
so like if my guy's on the run and he's like
five, he's only 5'6".
yeah, he's 5'6", brown hair, approximately 35 years old, medium build,
Yeah.
whatever.
But that's in character.
It's in character. Yeah,
Yeah.
It makes sense in context to the story. And boom, you've just given that perfect. I'm trying to remember which books I did that. I did that for. Oh gosh,
Did you do that in Dead Six at all? I want to say you
I
did
think
in
I
Dead
did do
Six.
that in Dead Six because I had a hard time with
'Cause there was
Lorenzo
some
because no one
stuff.
could tell what race Lorenzo is because he's one of those ethnically
Lebanese.
ambiguous.
He's Lebanese.
Yeah, he's Lebanese. He's Arab. He's Mexican. He's Indian. Because he's something, but no one really knows what he is. And yeah.
So, one thing I would say to you, Rick, is what stuff would your character care about in another character? Because what he looks like probably actually doesn't even really matter.
Readers are going to kind of self-insert anyway.
Yeah. If it's a Western, they're going to auto-insert Clint Eastwood in there.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine. And if you're thinking about how your characters view other characters so that they're not blank mannequins, what traits would your main character, who you're seeing them through their eyes, what would they care about? And that's how I describe it.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We got a couple more questions when we come back. Hey there, everyone. Steve Diamond here. Look, y'all know the story. We used to have supporters through our previous service, and that previous service decided, no supporters for you. So that kind of sucked. So what we did is we switched to Patreon. So if you want to go support us, head over to Patreon, look up WriterDojo, and we have 3 different levels which you can subscribe to. $5, $10, $20 a month, but look, you can do whatever you want. In those tiers, there's going to be cool stuff that we are going to give away and different perks we're going to give out. So, hey, remember, each dollar you spend lets me cook more brisket. All right, everybody, welcome back. Hope you're enjoying our little Q&A. Okay. This question came from our Facebook group, from our WriterDojo Facebook group. And basically, it was kind of a long back and forth thread where I was asking clarifying questions of the guy asking it. I'm not going to say his name just because some people are a little, they don't want to be have their name called out. So I'm not going to say the name.
We'll just say Bob. If we don't,
his name was Bob.
Bob.
His name was, never mind.
Did I get it right?
I was about to use the name I always use for the random characters in like our role playing games.
Oh.
But that's always like someone Johnson. So, effectively, what this question comes down to is, what are our thoughts, or how do we feel about cover art in terms of how it is representative of the book, and whether or not it can help or hinder the sales of your book?
Okay. That's a good question.
I'm super opinionated on this one.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll start with this by saying my initial words to say on this is that I think cover art is exceptionally important.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to agree, but with a caveat, but it's not the way people think. I think the most important thing about a cover art is that it looks cool in a thumbnail that someone will click on it on Amazon.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's the single most important thing about a cover.
These days, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
Right? Because, look, the majority of books are consumed as an ebook or, through clicking on something through Amazon or whatever. And so it has to be clean and clear, so you can kind of tell what it is.
Yeah.
And like you said, it has to look cool.
Has to look cool. I think the market is weird on covers because if you look at like fantasy, so recently when I had a book in the top 100 and we were going through and it was all romantasy.
Sure,
and
sure.
all romantasy covers are
Look the same.
boring. They're just boring.
It's some like designy stylized flower and an animal.
And or a sword hilt
Yep.
and a raven wing.
Yep.
You know, or a crown and a rose.
A Crown of Roses and Ravens.
Yeah,
Book
so-
17 of the Boning series.
Yeah, so when I write The Kingdom of Angst and Boning by Lobelia Trout Swallow and make $1 trillion,
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff I'm going to do. But that works for that genre. Me being a genre fiction guy, people expect a scene from the book is what they usually expect. But like we did American Paladin, we just did a very simple, stylized throwback cover. Honestly, it looked like a 1970s.
Looked like a 70s, 80s
yeah,
thriller.
like a 70s, 80s thriller cover. And actually, no, I thought that was a good idea. It actually worked really well for this particular book
Well,
series.
in fact, the first time I saw that cover, that was what I texted you. I said, is this supposed to be like the 70s, 80s throwback look? Because that's what this looks like.
The idea was that this would be a movie starring Clint Eastwood in that time period.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it just kind of depends, but the main thing is it's got to be for whatever your genre. Because remember, they're going to be scrolling through your genre, or they're going to be in a bookstore in that in those particular shelves. So it's got to be something that looks interesting for that group. Like I said, if I was doing romantasy, it would be boring bullcrap.
Yeah.
But I'm doing, sci-fi or fantasy. It's going to be a scene. It's going to be people doing stuff.
Or spaceships doing stuff.
So sci-fi. Most sci-fi covers tend to sell that type of story. Exploding spaceship.
Yep.
Spaceship shooting lasers. Spaceship flying around a planet.
Yep.
Rebecca Haskell has done like 10
She
zillion
basically
covers.
does all the sci-fi stuff for Aethon
Yeah,
these days.
and she does a ton, and she's got a really good handle on like colors, and I've heard her talk about it before. It's actually really cool, and she's got a really good handle on like the visuals of it that people are like looking for and what strikes people in that genre. So I'd say it's genre specific. It is very important. It just kind of depends on what people are into. Some covers are definitely better than others. I've had some fantastic covers that I love.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
And I've had covers that I don't like, but I'm not going to like,
Well, so my novel Residue, right? It's had two different covers.
Yeah, you've had a couple, yeah.
The first cover, it looked like a horror novel. It was good. It was like some browns and it was a lot of browns and yellows. Dude in the woods. It is pretty good. When I started publishing it with Rothman, he was like, "Hey, let's change the cover, so, especially since books 2 and 3 are going to come out imminently after it. Let's change the cover and make it all kind of the same." And so he went out and got 2 different comps done. Did a great job. Freaking Rothman was awesome for this. Got 2 different comps done. Both were really good. But the one that we chose that is the current cover now, he showed it to me and I looked at it and I said, "That looks like an 80s horror cover. It looks like it's set to synthwave music."
John Carpenter.
That like John Carpenter.
Yeah.
This looks like a John Carpenter like poster. This is it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so that's what we went with.
Yeah, it's just something that fits it and is evocative. It strikes a certain chord with the person thinking of buying
Yeah.
it. I really, really love my Academy of Outcasts cover, but specifically the second one, because it was just they wanted to do characters posing basically.
Yeah.
And
Good looking dude, good looking girl, cool things.
cool things, guns
and
and
wands.
wands and magic, and there's stuff that's glowing, and there's floating city bits.
Yeah.
It looks so freaking cool.
Yeah.
It's so perfect for that book.
Yeah.
The first one's good, but it's just simpler. Second one is third one's good. It's got a dragon on it because dragons sell. People love dragons.
This is true.
But I love that second cover. I just love it. Now, will it sell better than first or second overall? I don't know. Book sales directly related to cover is weird. I would say the first book in the series is the most important. But anything that's going to get people to like click on it to be interested. So even if they like see book 2 in the series pops up first and they want like, wow, that cover looks awesome. Hopefully they'll be interested enough in the cover of book 2 to go click on book 1.
Yeah.
But obviously you want as good a cover as possible.
Yeah, because will the cover necessarily mean will it drive someone to buy the book? Maybe.
Maybe.
Will a horrible, terrible, no good cover prevent someone from buying the book?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, it will.
Because a good cover will push them towards further investigation, reading the blurb, reading an excerpt.
I mean, look, if they click on that thumbnail and they open it up and it looks like someone just typed in a word prompt into a freaking AI engine.
Yeah.
The dude has 17 fingers. There's all sorts of artifacts and noise.
Bad covers.
The cover design looks like it was just slapped together like by AI.
Yeah, so a good cover will help. Bad cover kills.
Yeah.
Because bad cover suggests bad book.
Yeah. It's kind of similar in the vein of narration.
Yeah.
Like a bad narrator crushes you.
Yeah.
Right?
It just kills it.
Yeah.
So yeah, people do judge books by covers.
Now, as a guy who sold books professionally, right, at a bookstore, I managed a Walden Books. The better the cover, the easier the book was to sell.
Yeah.
That was just how it is.
It just looks cooler.
Yeah.
It just looks like more fun.
Yeah, because you can be like, oh, this book's really cool. It's about a wizard in Chicago.
Okay,
And then you hand it to them, and they look at it and they go, oh, this is like kind of gritty noir stuff.
Harry
but
Dresden doesn't wear a hat.
he never wears a hat.
Never wears a hat.
But it looks good on the cover.
On the cover, it looks super cool, and it sold a lot of books.
Yeah.
Right? And so it works. He looks super cool.
Well, like I said before the break, one of the first horror books that really got me into horror was Necroscope. The Bob Eggleton cover with the skull.
The Bob Eggleton vampire skull monster.
With the giant freaking tongue.
Yeah, that was cool as hell.
Like,
very evocative.
it's so cool. I mean, that image is just imprinted on my soul. It's so good.
There's just covers that make me want to read the book, and there's covers that don't.
Yeah.
And I think it's got to be genre specific. Mm-hmm. So, like if I'm writing progression fantasy, then by golly, there needs to be some interesting characters or something cool going on or something actiony that gets people interested. Epic fantasy now, the market has gone more towards symbolic. So like I had a really cool Larry Elmore cover for Son of the Black Sword.
But they wanted to go with the symbology.
Barnes and Noble said, but we want to have this more grown-up, mature, boring...
It's because that's what the Martin stuff was doing at the time.
Yeah, and it's like, so boring. But once again, you got to work within your genre conventions.
Yeah.
Because that's what the shoppers are expecting.
Oh, shoot. I was having this conversation with the artist who's doing my short story collection that I put out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's a guy named Daniel Serra, who's a watercolor artist out of Italy. And he's like, hey, rather than pick a scene, I'm going to do something symbolic based on the title short story that you're doing for it. And it's the Werewolf Cop story, is the title story.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
He's like, I'm going to do something symbolic for that. Is that okay? I'm like, absolutely. I just need a werewolf on it. That can be, the girl's fine, but I need the werewolf too. He's like, okay, that's it. Like, but sometimes if you're working with a good artist, you just need to trust them. Yeah. They'll do something good for you.
A lot of, honestly, hot chicks on the cover always,
they always work.
Depending on the genre. that helps a lot too. Or depending on the genre, shirtless hot guy. So
this is true.
That is a whole big thing.
I mean, that is.
And I am not some snob. I mean, if it works, it works.
Hey, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is from the Patreon group, and it says, I'm a new writer, and one of the many things I struggle with is quickly establishing new characters in my stories. Do you have any advice, tips, or tricks on how I can get better at this, and are there any pitfalls I should avoid? Great question.
That is a really good question.
Now, some of this we did talk a little bit about during the appearance question that our boy Rick
from
asked.
Rick. Yeah, because some of the principles are the same here. It's once again, don't want to dump them too much. Don't want to make it feel like shoehorned in. I'm trying to give you extra information. Do you remember when they had Itchy, Scratchy, and Poochie, and they added Poochie, and there was there was this just a giant info dump about how cool Poochie is at everything, and then everybody hated him. Okay, so don't do the Poochie, right?
Well, every serialized TV show, like Cop Show, does this, right? Because
constantly introducing new characters.
Inevitably, someone's contract gets up, or
Yep.
they pull a Caruso and they want to leave, or whatever.
Well, how many people
right?
have starred in NCIS at this point?
All of them.
Yeah. You know,
Like I'm pretty sure what's the world's population? 7 billion or something.
Half of that.
So like 8 billion people have started on NCIS or CSI.
Yep.
So, and often what happens is they have that moment, and it's always super awkward because they don't know how to do it the right way. Mm-hmm. And it's, oh yeah, so and so, yeah, that the new guy. What's up with the new guy? Oh well, the new guy had this thing where he was in Afghanistan, and then he got shot down in a helicopter, and then he carted out 17 of his men on his back all at once, and it goes on for a couple minutes, and you're going, you should have just introduced that organically, over time, over a few episodes.
Yeah. So part of the trap here is the question is like, how do I introduce them like quickly? How do I establish them quickly? You don't really need to. You need to establish something, but not everything. Again,
like in a short story sense, my first question is, how quick can you make me care about the character?
Yeah, I want to care.
But I don't have to know everything about them.
No, I don't need the life story. In fact, the life story is valuable stuff I can dole out later.
Absolutely.
One of the things I'm really good at and I like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm really good at introducing characters, giving you some interesting stuff about them, and then teasing some other stuff, but not revealing it for a while, or not even revealing it in the same book.
Yeah. Like, let's say the character's tragic backstory is they got in a car wreck once, but it was actually caused by a vampire, but blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
The first comment I would make would be something to the effect of, I've been in wrecks. Not my thing.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? He's like, dude, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah. You don't have to talk about it right now. You just got to make the reader wonder what it
was.
was.
Okay. And then later on, he's like, yeah, remember that car wreck? Vampire was involved.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, we're busy. We'll get back to that later. Like, you can kind of string some of that out.
Yeah. A cool thing, too, is we're introducing characters, so it's not the point of view characters. So the point of view character is already there. He's meeting this person. What is the point of view character going to find interesting about them, and what are they going to notice? So you're not going to give them the whole big rundown about this character, but you're going to notice something. Like Monster Hunter, Milo Anderson's one of the most popular characters. What does Owen notice the first time he meets Milo? He's this weird little dude with a big bushy red beard. He's got braids in it.
Yep.
He's wearing Birkenstock sandals and cargo shorts
while holding an AR.
Yeah, holding a rifle, listening to talk radio. Was he listening to talk? I think he was listening to talk radio.
Talk radio
because of the guy I based it on. Yeah. And it's just like, so this is just, and so he's just a kind of like squirrely little bouncy guy who just comes up all enthusiastic.
Oh, hey, you here for orientation?
Yeah, and it's just he's just having a good old time, And so you don't need to give his whole life backstory there. I do that later, but you just got to give enough there that the readers are like, oh yeah, that's that weird guy with the big bushy red beard and the sandals,
Or heck, I'll take it a step, no pun intended, further with Dorcas.
Oh yeah,
right. Like you talk about, she has one leg in book one.
Yeah, I established she's got a fake artificial leg in the first book.
She says I think it's in book one where she says that a werewolf took it.
Yeah.
You don't learn until about halfway through book two what that is.
Yeah, it's the werewolf.
It's the werewolf.
Yeah.
The most important werewolf of the story.
Yep. And it's not what it's totally not what you think.
And directly related to the plot.
Yep. So you dole stuff out as you need to. They show up, there's something interesting about them, but it's just enough to drag them along. And as the story occurs, you're going to have more opportunities to reveal more cool stuff about that person.
I mean, just think about, as kind of a final example here, like the first times you and I met and the conversations we had. First it was, we were just talking about books. And then later on that day, or might have even been the next day, we went to dinner. And that was when we learned that we were both accountants.
Yep. We did the secret accountant handshake.
That's right. And then as time went on, like we got to know each other more and more and more. Like, it's the same with most people. It's not like when you in like the real world sit down to someone, you don't sit down and like give each other's like whole entire life backstory.
Yeah, you don't get your whole life. In fact, people who give you their entire life backstory when you first meet them,
they're usually autistic.
Yeah, there's something weird. What's funny because my poor wife is the woman that, for whatever reason, everybody tells her like their entire life history and every bad thing that's ever happened. I don't know why that is. She's just that person.
Yeah, I've been there.
You know, and it's weird. So don't make it weird for the readers.
Yeah.
You know, make it natural, make it smooth. It's like you get to know somebody over time. You just so don't worry about quickly. The only thing you got to worry about quickly is enough. And it's a fine line. And almost, okay, think about it this way. If I was writing a fantasy that's basically a D&D adventure, what do I need to establish about this person at first? Race, class,
and gender usually.
Yeah. I mean, really?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, that's the
male rogue. That's the male elf rogue.
The male elf rogue.
His name happens to be Steve.
It's usually Steve.
It's usually Tyrendel Starfire.
I should totally add Tyrendel Starfire. I'm going to write.
You have to now.
I'm going to do that whole Kingdom of Angst and Boning thing because it's just too damn funny. And my wife has said she's going to help me write the nasty bits, which is hilarious because we're both going to.
She and I were talking about it
bad
at the Paladin event.
Oh gosh,
we were laughing.
Yeah, it's so terrible. I have to do this though because too many people. Somebody made me a cover, or somebody made me a giant poster of the cover. And gave it to me in Texas.
Oh gosh,
it's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a giant wall hanger, like a big one.
Oh dang!
For a Kingdom of Angst and Boning.
Yes. Well, it is a kingdom.
Yes.
It better be big.
So, well, that's a really roundabout way of answering that question. But it's like when I introduce a character, I'm just going to give you, race, sex, class.
Yeah, and that's your story.
And then they might say something cool. I've had characters like have big intros where it really mattered. I've had other characters where it's been like more gradual. There's not really a right or wrong way to do it as long as you give it something that is memorable. What you don't want to do is introduce a character that's not memorable, and then the character shows up again later and the reader's like, Who? That's where you failed, okay? If they don't have something to hook onto, if you introduce a guy and you give just enough, it's like, oh, that's the dude with the top hat. When he shows up 100 pages later, it's Top Hat Guy. They'll remember Top Hat Guy, okay? Yeah. So whatever it takes to just hook them with some sort of establishing shot of who this person is. Mm-hmm. Movies can cheat because they will have...
Well, you have the visual.
They have the visual. They also will give people certain lighting and certain sounds.
Yep, I was going to say. That,
we can't.
You have literal themes per person, like musical themes per person.
Yep, and we can't really play music throughout the book as it goes. No, that's kind of a challenge.
No, that doesn't work so well.
But you can do other things. Like I said, it's language, it's behavior, it's clothing, it's action. I write fantasy, so I have all sorts of cool stuff that I can do. I've had bad guys where, like, when the fog comes rolling in, it's a certain bad guy, and it's like, oh crap, this guy again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff you could do.
Yeah. All right. So those are the questions we have for you today. Hope that you guys appreciated the answers. Thought that they were halfway decent.
Hey, we got through 4. That's pretty good.
We did all right. Sometimes we do like 2 questions because we go far down the rabbit hole.
We've had episodes where we did 1 question and it turned into 2 episodes.
That's true. That's true. No one's ever accused us of being too brief on things.
No.
But look, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that 2 of those questions came from our Patreon supporters within the Patreon group.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. And look, any of you, that is one of the main perks of the $5 level is you come in and you can ask any of the questions you want and we'll get to them. We might not get to them right away because a lot of the times, as you guys have seen in the past, we get another subject matter expert to come in and help with that answer. Because unlike a lot of other shows, we don't claim to know everything.
Oh, dude, I'm so dumb.
Like, there's so many topics. There's so many things. So, but we also happen to know a lot of people who are all pretty awesome.
We've got some fun ones planned if we can get them put together this season.
Yeah. So look forward to that. And yeah, again, appreciate all you guys listening. Appreciate all the good questions. And this is the WriterDojo. We'll see you on the next one.
Writer Dojo is Steve Diamond and Larry Correa. Produced by Jack Wilder at Bear and Hare Studios. Theme song, Word Mercenaries by Craig Nyberg. New episodes come out every Wednesday wherever you stream your content. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can help support us by going to patreon.com/WriterDojo, by leaving a 5-star rating and review, and by helping to spread the word. To advertise on the Writer Dojo, email ads@writerdojo.com. All questions and comments can be emailed to questions@writerdojo.com.
Okay, so don't do the poochie, right?